Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here with Blue Streak Sports Talk. I'm Simon Beach, and I'm here with my Wade, Owen Marshall, and joining our show for the first time, we've got Sophie Sala. So, our first topic for this morning, we're going to talk about it's bowl season, and Temple head coach is pretty fired up about their bowl game against Duke. So, what do you guys think?
Alright, so I think that, I don't know why the coach is so fired up. This is the Independence Bowl. Like, this bowl doesn't really mean that much. It's being played in, like, Louisiana and some city nobody's ever heard of. And it's not one of the bigger bowls, and it's not going to impact either team's, like, season or the outcome, so.
Just because it's not one of the bigger bowls, though, I think it'll be one of the better games that we see. Like, Duke is 7-5, Temple's 8-4. Temple's only conference loss is to the undefeated UCF, who, like, we discussed last week and thought was, like, a college football playoff team. So, and Duke is 7-5, but they've had, like, a really hard schedule. They play Clemson, Syracuse, like, Pitt actually showed out this year. So, I think Temple probably has a stronger team, and I thought it was pretty cool to see the coach get fired up just, like, over something small. You know, the passion.
I think another reason he might be so excited about the game is he's an interim coach for right now. And if they come out on top with the win of this, he could be an option for permanent head coach. So I think that could be a factor of that.
Alright, so moving on to old country roads. Will Greer, quarterback for West Virginia, has decided to not play in their bowl game to prepare for the NFL draft to up his stock. So, is this the right move?
For Will Greer, probably yes. You know, you can always train and try to grind and get better and get a little bit of a boost, you know. But for West Virginia, that is not the right move. That's kind of throwing away the bowl. Obviously, there's nothing the coaches can do about it. It's not really their fault. But without Will Greer, like, Syracuse is a really solid team. So I think they're going to need their best weapons to come out and win that game. And without him, I don't see a very good outcome for West Virginia.
Yeah, but winning the bowl is irrelevant for West Virginia. Like, long term, if Will Greer can become, like, a late first-round pick in the draft next year, like, for West Virginia, that's going to help them with recruiting and stuff like that. So I think that you see this is becoming, like, a trend for more top prospects in the NFL. So I think that this is the right move so that West Virginia, in long term, can get more good players through their system.
We also see it will help him not be injured because him not playing in that game is going to decrease his risk of injury, meaning that he could be late first-round pick in the NFL, which will help him out later in life. And West Virginia obviously is my side with recruiting.
I think this is pretty lame of him because his counterpart for Syracuse, Eric Dungey, he's like a 60-year senior, and this program has given him a second chance too with all the injuries he's had, and he's going to play the bowl game, and he's like their Will Greer. So I think he should just suit up and suck it up. But, you know.
Because it's your team. You're bailing on your boys.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the NFL. We've got some madness in Pittsburgh, fellas. After Big Ben hit Juju with a 50-yard lateral to set up a 39-yard field goal, Chris Boswell says, and slips on the game-tying field goal. He also missed a field goal in that game. If he made both, the game would have been, that would have been the game winner. But he decided to slip and miss it and lose to the 2-10 Oakland Raiders. So Mike Tomlin announced that he was going to have kicking tryouts on Monday. And yeah, this team is just crazy right now. What do you guys think?
Pittsburgh sucks. I'm a Steelers fan, and they've managed to choke so hard 3 weeks in a row. And then my thing is, you sign Boswell to this mega contract extension, right? And then he turns to he decides to start sucking bad. This isn't the first time he's missed a field goal or extra point this season. What happened?
He's
What happened?
67% field goal this year. It's almost half.
I think that game was really significant because, first of all, it was the Raiders, the 2-10 Raiders. How do you lose to them? And now Pittsburgh is only leading the Ravens by half of a game in the AFC. So it's really significant because now they have to keep winning games to be able to get that top seed so they can get that bye potentially, or just to get in the playoffs.
And let's be real for a second. Yes, he missed the field goals. Yes, that's on Boswell. But the game should not have been that close.
I mean, when Big Ben's out for almost a half and Josh Dobbs has to come in and only completes 4 passes, then it's going to be.
And that's what I don't understand. Why draft Mason Rudolph if you're not going to use him at all? Like, what? Who's taking over when Ben retires? Because, like, his time's near, right? So, like, in those situations, or, like, Mason Rudolph hasn't touched the field at all. Like, I understand you don't want to, like, pull a Nathan Peterman, but you have to put him in the game or like get him working somehow, because like nothing prepares you more than in-game reps.
Man, he's already got that chemistry with wide receiver James Washington because they were at Oklahoma State together. So that could be like a dynamic duo in the NFL.
Exactly.
I think it'll be interesting to see this week when they play the Patriots what's going to happen with that. Does anyone have picks for that game?
I want to say the Steelers, but I mean if they play like they have been, like that's my team, but something's got to change. Like the coaching staff has just been lacking. Play calls, stupid. Like 4th and 1, or like on the 1 yard line. Oh, let's throw the ball. No. Right. So last week obviously is different with Connor hurt, but like the week before that, you have Connor. Oh, let's let Big Ben run the ball. No, he's the most unathletic guy I've ever seen in my entire life. He can barely move. He's like Simon.
Okay.
But like, something has to change.
I think it'll be a close game. Steelers are favored at home, but yeah, I don't really know. I'm holding my breath, but Patriots are heating up. But after that loss to the Dolphins, they might be kind of rattled. I don't know. So maybe the Steelers can take.
I mean, the
advantage of
Patriots
that.
haven't looked the same this year either. Like obviously, like you can actually see Tom Brady's age this year, where in the past you've seen like, the GOAT, but like he's kind of on his decline. Big Ben is definitely on his decline. Like,
He's
So-
still on his decline.
it could happen. Like the Steelers could win, but like I said, something has to change.
Alrighty, well speaking of the AFC playoff picture, we've got a bunch of teams competing for this 5 seed with the Colts now knocking off division rival Houston Texans to make their record 7-6 with 7 wins in a row. We've got the Chargers as a wild card because their division leader is the Chiefs and they're the number 1 seed right now. They play tonight. That will be this is gonna be up tomorrow. They play Thursday night. Again, the Chiefs and Chargers. So that will be a huge game to see who wins the AFC West. And so who do you think is your wild card and your 4th seed for the AFC?
I'd probably pick the Chargers. I mean, they've been really consistent, and it's not like they have an easy schedule. Like the Chiefs are a really solid team. So I mean, and what's their record's what, like 10-3. 10-3. So I don't even know who's behind them because like Phillip Rivers has been hot all year. But the Broncos, they're like a sleeper because if you think about it, like their schedule's hard too. They play
They're
the
in that
Chiefs.
same division.
They played the Chiefs twice. They played the Rams once. So it could really go either way.
I think that the Chargers, especially with Thursday night's game, the Chargers are on a 3-game win streak, and the Chiefs are really struggling. Like their running game without Kareem Hunt has just been lacking, and like you can see it. And the significance of this game is like the winner is going to become the 1 seed, and then the loser is most likely going to drop to the 5 seed. So like this game has a lot of significance in the NFL playoff picture.
Alright, in the NFC we've got the Cowboys with 3 straight wins, now sitting at 8-5, and the division leaders in the NFC East. And then we've got the Seahawks, who pretty much just locked up the wild card with their win against the Vikings on Monday night. So what do you guys think about the NFC playoff push? Is anybody going to break through, or is it going to be the same 5 right now? Is that going to stay?
Well, I mean, the Colts need to win at Dallas. Like, if they don't win, it's kind of over for them. And Dallas was really clutch at the beginning of the year with the picking up of Amari Cooper. Because he's like, everybody's like, oh, well, he's not going to do much. He's kind of burned out. But he showed out this year. So, like, that was one of That was one of like the bigger picks this year.
And I mean, when you have Dallas's offense with like Dak and Zeke, who haven't been playing like their best football, their defensive players like Van Der Esch and Smith have really been stepping up and helping like propel Dallas to these like close wins.
I agree with that. I think the Cowboys are. I think the Cowboys are gonna do something and make something happen so they get spots in the playoffs.
Yeah, and the thing with Andrew Luck, like, he's consistently throwing for 300 yards, but he has at least one interception a game. So like, and it can go like he's throwing like 2 or 3 one game. So like, you gotta limit those like big momentum changes. So if the Colts can do that, it might be a little bit better. But the Cowboys' pass rush has been like really good. So you put pressure on Luck, he has to throw the ball away. Oops, interception. Give the ball to Dallas. Like, you kind of have to limit that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray was drafted number 8 by the Oakland Athletics in this past year's MLB draft, but decided to play for his senior year at Oklahoma. And now, after winning the Heisman, people are wondering whether he should play baseball or he should stick to baseball with the Athletics or declare for the NFL draft, or maybe both, like pull a Deion Sanders. So, what do you guys think he should do?
I think he should stick with baseball because when Deion Sanders was playing both in the MLB and the NFL, it was a different time. He could pull that off, and I don't know if Kyler Murray could do that at this point in time. So I think the MLB will be better for his career longevity. He'll be able to make more money in it, and he'll have less injury risk doing that.
I agree with Sophie. I think he should stick with baseball because, first of all, in the NFL you don't have guaranteed salaries, so that's one of the major benefits is you have that guaranteed contract. And another major benefit is like you can have like a life when it's over. You have all these NFL players who have crazy concussions and have had so many surgeries and stuff. Like he's gonna be able to like have a life when his career is over.
I think he's more likely to see playing time in the NFL though, because a lot of times these guys get drafted, but you still have to go through like the minor leagues, and like if they aren't doing well, you get stuck in the minor leagues. So once that signing bonus is over, like minor league baseball players make nothing. Like they get like a like $20 stipend on like game days, so they don't eat well. Like they don't have a lot of money to have like a nice house. Like he's got to be smart with his signing bonus and actually be able to make the bigs, which is hard to do because like not that many people make it. You don't want a Tim Tebow situation.
I think that he should stick to baseball. Oakland Athletics manager the other day on Wednesday, he said, "What NFL player have you seen that plays 22 years?" So he was thinking that Kyler Murray could stay in the MLB and play 22 years in the MLB instead of like quarterbacks do play longer in the NFL, but not 22 years. And Kyler Murray made more than his head coach Lincoln Riley this year at Oklahoma. So if he keeps that up, he could have a pretty nice life ahead of him.
Not that many MLB players play 22 years though.
Yeah, but in
Like-
general you can play longer.
That's true.
All right, moving on, we've got some highs and lows of the week. What are you guys' picks?
All right, so I guess I'll start. We'll start with the low so we can end on the high note. So there's a video going around ESPN. I'm not sure what high school it is, but a girl like faked a free throw, and then one girl fell down, like face planted, and it was pretty embarrassing. See if we can roll the clip right here. And our high is Miami Magic because
Oh,
that was
yeah.
pretty insane, and I just really dislike the Patriots and seeing them lose. And the reactions. Have you seen
Yeah,
the reactions?
Butler, you like that?
It is wild.
Alright, my high-low, they're both the Patriots and Dolphins game. Because first of all, the low part is the Patriots coaching staff made such a bad decision. Like, they put Gronk as the last line of defense. Like, he's old. He cannot move that well.
He looks
Miami
like
wasn't
Owen.
even in, Miami wasn't even in range to, like, throw a Hail Mary. So, like, there wasn't any reason that he should be all the way back there. And then the high was just Miami's like lateral movement on that last play was just like, I don't know, it was just picture perfect. It was really good.
Alright, but like 90% of the time they try to air out a Hail Mary, you know, and Gronk has better hands. Like you put in your good hands team in that situation.
They were
But
like 70 yards
that's
out,
also
like,
not an
it was
excuse
really
for him to
far.
like fall down.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he
he
stumbled.
got his ankles broke. Like he should never play defense again. Like,
And I had kind of a bittersweet high, and that was that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade met for the last time on an NBA court this week. The Lakers took that win, 108-105, and for my low was also the Patriots game, and which was my low because I'm a Pats fan. But just the movement of Miami, we couldn't overcome that. Belichick's choice to put Gronk as safety, just a bad move, and it cost us the game. So that was my low.
Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.